Tonight, I am proud to present a rare find for the world of feline anthropology. Sheer luck has led to our acquisition of a priceless recording of a group of felines interacting in what appears to be a cooperative and collegial way. I think you will agree that this provides a unique opportunity for us to delve deeper into an area of study usually restricted to observations within the homes of cat people. Please sit back, relax, and learn.
Good evening, fellow cats and kittens, and welcome to the first in a series of Kitten Academy postgraduate study sessions, brought to you by the Kazoo Network and our sponsors Lactaid and the brand new KA Contemplation Station range. In future episodes, we will be taking masterclasses from experts worldwide in subjects of interest to cats, and later we will be having a little fun with an episode called Prank Your Human. I am your host Kazoo, and today I will be leading a seminar with the renowned faculty of our very own Kitten Academy. The faculty have kindly agreed to give up an evening of chasing birds to take questions from our audience. All the faculty, including Elsie, are gathered around the communicator, although I believe Eddie is still on his perch and is relying on the hearing that has helped him avoid many a medication attempt by Mr. A. Our first question is for Eddie, and it comes from Tomato.
During my time at the Academy, groundskeeper Eddie, I attempted a major in sleeping, with a minor in loafing, but I found I was distracted by my siblings, other classmates, and Mr. A, who obviously does not understand the curriculum. Do you have any advice for me?
Well, Tomato, the headmaster tells me that you put in some stellar work while you were here, but a few simple tips I'm sure will help you master the arts. Firstly, you need to practice your dismissive stare. Humans do not always understand their roles in our lives and can misunderstand our cues. They see a sleeping or loafing cat and think we require padding in order to enjoy our naps. When we wake them while they're asleep, they tell us to go away, and that is what you need to do with a stare. Practice, practice, practice your human go away stare. Okay, tip number 2 is to turn your back on them every time they attempt to interrupt your work. The worst that will happen is you get a pat, and the best that will happen is you get enough sleep. Third and final hint is to get up high. Humans are inherently lazy, and if they have to stretch to pat you, they won't. Finally, for all you kittens out there, remember it's never too late to take up the study of sleep. Young Kazoo was hopeless at his sleep studies when he was here, but I've heard great things of his recent work, particularly his dismissive stare when interrupted.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie. I truly appreciate the feedback and will attempt to do you proud. The next question is also for you. It comes from Garby.
Groundskeeper Eddie, you're also known as Sheddy Eddie, and your capacity to lose massive amounts of fur without ever seeming to change is legendary. How do you do it? And are there any tricks to making our shedding even more awesome for our humans?
Good question, Garby, but let's be totally honest, you have an unfair advantage in this field. For other kittens not so naturally blessed, I recommend a good, quality food, plenty of omega-3s, and not washing your fur excessively. To achieve maximum impact for your humans, remember the 3 rules. Color, texture, scent. First rule means if you're a dark-furred cat, find the surfaces in your home that are pale or white, and vice versa. Your humans want to see your fur around their homes. They will make excited comments when they see it. But if you're a gray cat and only shed on gray furniture, how are they going to know and get to enjoy your decorating efforts? Okay, rule 2, texture. Fine, silky fur gets lost in the ether, so aim to get a little wet before you shed. Nothing drastic is required. Try dipping your paw in the water bowl, lying on your human's laptop, which will warm you to a nice damp mess. You'll shed in clumps of love that lighten your human's heart. Okay, final rule, scent. If there are interesting substances in the home or yard, try rolling in them, adding variety to your scents that greet them when your human puts their head in the pillow at night. You could even turn it into a game for them. If you hear them say, "What's that smell?" you know your work is truly appreciated.
Thank you, Groundskeeper Eddie. Our next question comes from Trout and is for Elsie. We have Walt and Razzle standing on by to provide a translation.
Elsie, you are so completely chill. Why do you put up with us?
Woof, woof, woof.
I'm sorry, Walt is reporting that Razzles was distracted chasing a fly, so we will try to include Elsie's response in the transcript.
Excuse me, Kazoo, but I speak enough Elsie to be able to translate for her. She said there are so many darn cats, she barely has the energy to do more than ignore them. But she does not care because she gets free treats and toys from random humans, so she is happy to keep tolerating us.
Thank you for your assistance, Headmaster. We shall now move on. I believe Smokey is waiting on her throne, so we shall ask her questions next so she can go back to the game she is playing. Smokey, the first question comes from Basil.
Smokey, you have a somewhat frightening reputation, but all who know you know of your gentility. And, well, see, Tarragon and we've always wondered about your ear. And, see, Tarragon thinks that that's just how you were born, but I think you have some kind of exciting story. If it wouldn't be too distressing, could you tell us what happened to it?
Oh, dear, pardon my cackles, son. That story is not at all exciting. I spent some time in Africa studying wildlife documentary makers and how to control them. I was out in the Kalahari Desert observing a crew from the BBC filming a family of meerkats when the stupid sound man opened a packet of beef jerky. Now, if I could offer any advice about meerkats, my friends, it is this. Never, ever attempt to get between one and beef jerky. The rest of the film crew ran for the hills while I was trying to protect the poor fool. I threw his pack of jerky at the meerkat. Whoomp! Oh, but not before a sound boom pinned me by the ear to the ground. You know what a sound boom is, don't you? One of those grey fluffy microphones. It looks like a wombat on a stick. Anyway, my poor ear was never the same again. I survived, but the sound man, he's still undergoing counselling, and he can't work with wildlife larger than a chipmunk now. Oh dear. The BBC, though, they've thankfully updated their operating procedures to cover beef jerky-related risks.
Your next question, Smokey, comes from Gary, and I have a bet with Winnie that it will involve food.
Smokey, I actually have two questions. Do you have any tips for maintaining the health of your teeth? And secondly, you spend all day with Mr. A. What does he do in his office?
Okay, Winnie, I will pay up, but even you have to admit that really is about eating.
Well, Mr. Garamond, the best advice I can give you is to watch what you eat. Eating objects such as Daleks, or toilet brushes, or banisters even, are not optimal for teeth maintenance. Personal experience tells me that neither is getting into fights with the wild haggis. Oh, they've got a mean right hook on them, those beasties. But that's the story for another day. You should never eat cooked chicken bones, and you should clean your teeth on a suitable surface. If your human's hands are not available, try chewing on their shoes or furniture. A nice leather sofa or mango wood table, just the thing. As to your second question, Mr. A has many projects. He works hard talking to people on the phone while he plays games on his computer. But he also researches bleach online, reads romantic novels, and right now his project is knitting. It is. He's decided to knit a scarf, hat and gloves for DJ's Christmas present. But at this stage he may have to rely on her love of tiny things to get him through. His backup plan seems to involve an autographed photo of Captain Picard. Oh.
Our next questions are for Acro. The first question is from a kitten I am not familiar with, so I'm not sure how they joined the network. It says here the kitten is called Toothpaste from the bathroom class? Go ahead, Toothpaste.
Who is the fluffiest kitten that has been to Kitten Academy, Headmaster?
Kazoo, that call is coming from inside the house. What? It is Eucalyptus calling from the spa, but I will take the question despite intended restriction of this event to alumni, not students. Euki, fluff is all in the mind. Cats are beautiful, whatever color or colors they are, or how long or short their fur, or by any other measure they would use in a cat show. You will shine in life if you're a happy cat, who loves their humans and their siblings, and leaves a mark on the world, preferably on one of your scratching posts. Now, does that answer your concern, Euki?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now go back to bed and tell Elderberry to clean his chin.
Sorry for that, Headmaster. I will ensure our vetting is better next time.
No need to apologize, Kazoo. We may have ease more than Yuki's mind. Next question, please.
This question is from a definite alumnus, my good friend Lute.
Hi, Kazoo. My human is reading a book about wizards at a school, and the headmaster in the book is hundreds of years old and has magical powers. What qualifications do you have to be headmaster of Kitten Academy, Acro?
Thinking ahead, Lute? Thank you, Lute. But advanced age is not required and would tend to slow me down. The major requirement is wisdom. I do not feel like I am bragging when I say it takes wisdom to manage some of the younger faculty, and even more to manage the humans. Mr. A would forget his socks if Logie did not want to pass with a pair of them in his mouth every morning as Mr. A dressed. The biggest challenge, of course, comes from managing the students. You all have such different personalities and wants, and I have to balance your need for self-expression with the need to have the building intact for the next class. Oh, and of course, for the humans. But I would not trade my time with any of you for all of the lickable treats in Pet Barn.
Thank you, Headmaster, for those kind words. There will be a short break while we all lick our legs. And we are back at KA for the final part of our first seminar. The next questions go to Professor Ari, and the first comes in from a recent graduate, Hummus.
You have beautiful fur, Professor. I was wondering, do you have any advice for adolescent kittens developing acne on their chin?
Cleanliness is a start, Hummus. Do you wash your chin? All of you out there listening, do you wash your chin? You spend an hour cleaning between your toes, but do you wash your chin? Next, you must watch what you eat and where you drink. Mice might offer plenty of roughage, but they play havoc with the complexion. Stick to a balanced diet of fresh and prepared foods, and finally, and most importantly, drink from a water fountain, preferably a flowery one, a bowl or a sink if you must, but never from a toilet.
Sound advice, Professor. The last question for you comes from Ariel.
Where is the packet of dreamies you owe me, Ridicularium?
Sorry for that, Professor. I think we will take that question on notice and move on to our final questions. Our final questions are for Logan, Barry, and Custard together, and the first one comes in from Charlie.
You all can call me Chowie. You both joined the faculty later in Kitten Academy's establishment period and had to integrate with other faculty quickly while taking on new roles. Do you have any advice for kittens who are going to join homes that already have cats?
Yeah. I've got... No, but... Go ahead. Now listen here, Custard. Okay.
I guess I'll answer that, Charlie. There are two possible approaches, and which you take will depend on what type of cat you are. If you're a confident, happy kitten like me, you just go out and boop your new family, followed quickly by giving them lots of hugs. I generally find other cats warm to you very quickly when you have that dashing charm some of us exhibit. Okay, Loganberry wants to say something.
Charlie, not every cat has Custard's, charm. So for most kittens, their humans will introduce them slowly by keeping you close by but separate, so that your new siblings can adjust to your scent and then to the sight of you, and slowly allow you to conduct appropriate greetings. You know, the usual sniffing relevant surfaces and licking each other's fur. Just remember your cattail rules, Charlie. Up for friends, down for stinkeroo. Sorry, down for undecided.
Or you could just crash tackle them, Charlie.
As you can tell, the alumni at Kitten Academy maintains its high standards of academic freedom and debate. Our final two-part question comes from my good friend Agent Korn.
Laurie and Custard, firstly, how do you make sure you stand out from the crowd? And secondly, how do you deal with your fame?
To your first question, Korn, I find that subtlety helps. Yes, subtlety. People are attracted to quiet, dignified cats who carry themselves well, can draw a human's eye with their spare and graceful movements. Logie, do you have an answer for Agent Korn?
Yes, Custard. The way to stand out from the crowd is to not hang around in one. Choose your own space and inhabit that. As to your second question, Mr. A has recognised my need to take time out to process the demands of my public, but for some reason seems determined to schedule that time in the laundry during meals. I have entered into discussions with him regarding this arrangement.
I find the best way to deal with fame is to embrace your fans. I try to ensure I'm on the stream, giving my fans what they want, when they want it. I appear in as many GIFs and memes as my fans can handle. And finally, I'd like to give back to the students by providing lessons on media studies during the mailbag.
Sadly, we are almost out of time, but we just have room for a word from our major sponsor and closing remarks from the headmaster.
You can get it chasing a mouse. You can get it climbing a tree. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I've got it now. A big, big thirst needs a big, big milk. Lactate for a hard-earned thirst.
Thank you, Kazoo, and the moderators for your work in arranging this event, and your efforts in continuing the work in our fine institution beyond these 7 or 8 walls. Alumni, trust me when I say there is no lesson learned here that you cannot apply in your homes. I beg you to continue your work in re-educating humans on their proper roles in our lives. Please come back for the next in our series when Winnie and Gary have agreed to present an informative masterclass. Until then, good night and good luck.
This story has been brought to you by the Discotheque Players and Budgie Productions on behalf of the Kazoo Network. All actors are registered members of Kitten Academy Chronicles Equity, and no humans were harmed in the making of this production. All rights reserved by a marsupial in Sydney, a scattered collection of cat people, and a small but highly esteemed educational institution in Illinois. Much love. Squeeze a kitten for us. The end.